Okay guys, I've got this totally awesome tagline you could use to describe this pay-per-view, right? The Montreal Screwjob. What? What do you mean they've done it? I've never heard of... Who? Bret Hart. I have never heard of that person in my life. Worry? No. No. You worry too much, man. None of them will have heard of it. No, it's fine. It's fine. The Montreal Screwjob. Breaking Point. Breaking Point was okay. Breaking Point, I think some people would claim it was terrible. I don't think it was terrible. I think some people would claim it was really good. I don't think it was that either. It was okay. There were some things I really liked about it. And there were some things I really didn't think worked at all. And I think a lot of the things I really liked, other people will hate. And I think a lot of the things, you know, I thought didn't work, other people will really like. You know, I think it was one of those pay-per-views. It's really going to split opinion. But anyway, there's a lot to talk about, so let's just get going. Okay, there's actually not a lot to talk about this first match, which was the Unified Tag Team Championship match between MVP and Mark Henry, the challengers, versus the champions, Chris Jericho and The Big Show. What can I say about this? MVP and Mark Henry wore matching uniforms. MVP had MVP on his back, and Mark Henry had WSM, which apparently stood for World's Strongest Man, but could equally stand for things which are much funnier than that. I'm sure you can come up with some of your own. I came up with Wounded Sea Monster. Please, if you are going to come up with some of your own, please don't use the S and the M to make Sex Machine. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, this match didn't work at all because this whole Chris Jericho Big Show thing doesn't work because they make Chris Jericho look like an idiot, they make Big Show look really good. So as usual, we're expected to believe Mark Henry was about to beat Chris Jericho. Big Show saves him by hitting him with the knockout punch, or as it's sometimes known, the punch. And that, of course, Chris Jericho picked up the pin, Big Show saved him again. They're still the Unified Tag Team Championship. Nothing very good to talk about there. Then we had a promo by Legacy, which was terrible. Terrible and vaguely confusing, actually. They tried to sound, you know, profound and contemplative and, I don't know, credible. But they just ended up sounding like idiots, you know, with their confusing talk about glow sticks and stuff. It just really didn't work. Then we had The Miz versus Kofi Kingston, which was a late addition to the card for the United States Championship. And I thought The Miz would go over because I don't really see what Kofi Kingston's title reign is achieving. I do like Kofi Kingston, but, you know, nothing is happening with his character because he's holding this belt, nothing. So I thought The Miz would go over, which didn't happen. I think some people like this match. I don't think it worked at all. I think what happened here is they went out there and they tried to wrestle a really good match. They tried to do all the things you see in a really good match. You know, we had a good period of heel domination. It was fast. There were lots of exchanges of pin covers and all that sort of stuff. Lots of false finishes, all that. So they tried to wrestle a good match, but it didn't work. It just didn't work at all for me. Miz didn't look very good. I really liked The Miz. I don't think he looked very good. I just felt he was a bit sloppy and he was a bit all over the place. And you know, there were times when he should have gone for pin covers and he didn't, or he was too late. You know, Kofi was Kofi. Kofi's really good, but I don't know. I don't think this match really worked at all. Kofi retained with Trouble in Paradise out of nowhere, as Michael Cole once again described. No, Michael Cole saying out of nowhere is not a good thing, because this finish was out of nowhere. No one likes a finish out of nowhere. I mean, it was just, nah, this match wasn't good. Then we had DX versus Legacy in a submissions count anywhere match. We start off, DX come to the ring and they do their usual intro, and as Triple H is talking, we get a "You screwed Brett" chant, and Triple H does this thing where he was like, I had nothing to do with it, it was him and all this. And I was like, oh well, I hate Triple H, I really do. I mean, you know, he was complicit, that's all I'm saying. But yeah, they threw the mic, Triple H threw the mic to Shawn, and then he got lots of boos and stuff, so it was a bit of a mixed reaction for DX. But Triple H was unanimously cheered. This match, Legacy came out to no reaction whatsoever. I mean, I could hear every word in their music. Nothing. There was no pop at all. But anyway, this match was good. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. There were, you know, they did that usual stuff where they go up into the crowd and all that sort of stuff. That was okay. There were quite a lot of different submission hold attempts. In fact, more submission hold attempts than we saw in any of the other matches, which I quite liked. There was one where Cody Rhodes' legs were in a chair and Triple H locked on a cloverleaf and Shawn Michaels locked in a camel clutch at the same time. That was kind of good. I always kind of suspected Legacy were going to go over in this match, and it just appalled me, the fact, you know, I just wish Triple H would make a gesture at some point and actually put someone over himself. But no, of course, it was Shawn Michaels who tapped out. It had to be Shawn Michaels who tapped out because he's the only person who's prepared to put anyone over. Triple H was desperately clawing to the ring, and I suppose we're supposed to believe if Triple H had got in the ring, he would have broken that submission hold and made both Rhodes and DiBiase tap out instantly. This match was okay. There was one spot in the middle where Shawn Michaels got thrown off a balcony and just landed on what looked like the comfiest landing imaginable. I mean, he might as well have landed in his own bed. It was terrible. But there was a period where Shawn Michaels was out of action, and then DiBiase and Rhodes focused on Triple H. Then there was a period where they knocked Triple H out somehow, and then they focused on Shawn Michaels in the ring. And the match was actually going really well until there was that period with DiBiase and Rhodes and Shawn Michaels in the ring, which didn't really work for me at all. I thought it was very boring, quite slow, you know. I didn't think it was really achieving anything. But the end comes when Cody Rhodes wraps on that sort of figure four-leg lock round the ring post, very reminiscent of Bret Hart, in fact, and Ted DiBiase locks in the $1 Million Dream at the same time on Shawn Michaels, and of course Shawn Michaels taps as Triple H is crawling down to the ring to reach him. So Legacy win. Fair enough. You know, I don't particularly like Legacy, but they should win. Then we had Josh interview Randy Orton, and Orton delivered a really, really good promo. Just talking about how John Cena says he will never quit, and Orton says, you know, you don't understand what you're saying there, the amount of pain, the amount of torture I'm going to put you through, all this sort of stuff. It was very intense. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a great promo. Then we had Kane versus the Great Khali. This was a great match. This was really good. It started off with some great mat wrestling. Then they started doing, you know, Ziggler was doing his very aggressive sort of offense, and Morrison, of course, was doing his fancy... Oh, no, wait, hang on. No, wait, I'm describing John Morrison versus Dolph Ziggler. The thing that was inexplicably taken off the card, and yet we still have to watch this. Kane versus the Great Khali was awful once again. It was marginally better than their SummerSlam match because, you know, I felt they were getting hurt more this time. That's about it. Kane wins with a weak-ass choke slam. Totally pointless. I'm glad Kane went over. Kane still has the tiniest bit of talent left. Khali, of course, never had any to begin with, and if anything, has gotten worse. We had a little backstage interview. Eve Torres talking to CM Punk, who delivered a decent promo, not his best promo by any means. Like, in fact, I think it's probably the worst promo he's delivered since he turned heel. It was a bit disjointed, but it was okay as usual. I mean, there was nothing wrong with it. He just said the Undertaker didn't scare him, and then the lights went out, and of course Punk was terrified. I don't like that they're booking him as terrified. I think he should be confident, you know, as confident as he claims to be in his own abilities. I think that's the way they should book him. But they turned the light out. He was terrified, and it transpired it was Jimmy Wang Yang, who'd made it onto pay-per-view. Well done him. Who was just teasing Punk. So Punk goes up to him and beats the shit out of him, which was fun enough, I suppose. Anyway, turn over to part 2.